Hello, welcome to the stream. We're back playing Minecraft, obviously. And we're obviously back in the subscriber city. As per always. Welcome to everyone who joined. I'm going to test if my noise is picking up. Obviously back in the It is. That is awesome. We're back here. I'm feeling like working on builds today instead of the terraforming. We've done a lot with the terraforming. So making some builds sounds pretty fire. But we'll keep terraforming till we get some people in the chat. Just because it's boring and kind of lame. And I'm hoping we can get some people with their build requests coming in. And then we could start working on those. So we'll just terraform until they're here. Bam. Bam. Trying to fill up the back because I don't want them to go past this part. So we're going to have a little bit of a struggle doing that, but that's okay. Trying to make it, I guess it would just be pretty boring back here. It'll just go down. So one day, one of these days, we'll be able to see it from the chat, and that'll be fun. But for now, we will not. This goes down like this. Okay, hard part's getting all these to connect properly. Let's try to fill this. Let's try to make like a circle here. More of these lines we fill in, the easier we tell what we're actually going to be doing. So that's why they're important. So this will have to go up to here, and then this will have to. Oof, this is hard. The best thing to do is I want to make sure. Let's just start filling this in. I mean, it's the back. It doesn't matter. Horrible mentality, I know, but it's true. Won't matter until we have. We'll probably have to build a square over here, and then it'll matter. It'll matter quite a bit. I'm planning on working on some builds today. Once we do that, we'll have a good system going. This should be pushed back a little. We can work on some builds. We'll have a nice little system. Bam. Just like that. That's looking fancy. Nice. Honestly, this face is looking bad. Let me bring up some height. It'll look a little better. Yeah. No. 10 out of 10 would smash. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for joining. There's nobody on right now. Usually there's other people. I don't just stream for myself, okay? That's because it just started. I've been terraforming, making some mountains and this lake. Hey, and this goes to my public watch hours. So, even if you're not watching, just keep it on. Cat, what are you doing? Is that a thing? I don't know what you're talking about. Everything's a thing. Why does my house make so much noise when I start streaming? I swear. Everybody just decides to get up. It's horrible. Horrible. Horrible as well. So I'm looking out to start curving this in a lot more. This is the back of the base, so it doesn't matter that much. I want to work on some people's builds today, but I was waiting until people got on. Usually, Capybara hops on and they want a mushroom house, so I'm hoping they hop on today and I can work with them on that and ask them what they like, what they want. Or how they want the build to go. Mountains aren't looking terrible. It is weird this one's not peaked, but once we build something on it, it'll work. Though we could still put a layer of snow up here to make it match. Might as well fill it in too. Make sure everything's working perfectly and justly. Just like this. Hopefully once we get some people asking for their builds, it'll be less boring than terraforming, but we gotta get this done at some point. So might as well do it now. Looking nice. Nice. I feel like this side looks too big, but it is supposed to be a natural building, so can't say it's strange. It's not a building, I guess it's a build. That we got some squids popping up under here. This part's looking weird. I guess I'll just fill the rest in with the sand. So take this out entirely. Sand. Up a little bit over here. That. Speaking of which, sand's looking a little too uniform. I am going to act like it's building up in some of these spots. It wouldn't be perfect. Like it is now. So I'm gonna make little spotches of sand. Got it. Just like that. That's looking a little less uniform, less perfect. Goal is to make these look like mountains, and a lot of these just look like walls because they don't really have any detail in them, any destruction. But I want to fill this in, but I also have to get out. Just go through here. Just want them to look weird, wacky. Because right now they're looking like they're perfect, and they're not. It's supposed to look like mountain walls. So we'll add a little bit of texture in after we add just a little bit of shape. Make him look not perfect. Like that. The wall has to cover it up. We'll do that. Destroy some of these. This. Go ahead and add that. That. This can build up a little bit. Maybe curve in a little bit. Try stop with the whole perfect look we got going. The mountains aren't perfect. They're weird. They're shapy. No, I don't like that. That destroys the fact that there should be structure. We gotta start adding some andesite. I want to face it more towards corners, so that would hold a little bit more light. Like this part. Do that. This part. It's a little too uniform. Let's add it to some of these. We can add it randomly too. Just face it more towards. You can add some cobble too, probably. A little better. Just in the darker spots, add cobble. let's get some cobble out. Started typing before I went to the typing tab. It's a retarded. Like this part would be extra dark, so we can throw some cobblestone in. So this part, a few of these, this stuff right here. I don't want it too to the top, more like a gradient. So I'm not going to put any cobble up there at all. That'll be mostly andesites and stone. But down here, we'll have quite a bit of cobblestone. Just for the vine. Okay. Right here should have some. All this is pretty lit up, so maybe it shouldn't have too much cobble. But we can add a few bits here and there. Especially to this part. This part. A little texture goes a long way, but it still has a long way to go. Because I think right now these edges are looking too much like edges. They're not edges, they're shading. So I think if we use them in a little bit, they'll look a little better. I'm not great at shading, to be honest, but I know some basics. Very basic. Okay, perfect. Actually, this part should have some. Okay, I think some rocky bits at the bottom. I'm gonna add some weird, like, just random little rocks. Probably get some cobble stairs as well, and some stone. I already have stone. Yeah, it won't all be like that. So stairs, slabs. It's just to make the bottom of it look more rocky. Like sometimes the water rises, stuff like that. Okay, well, we should add a few, oh, fridge. Two more buttons here and there. I think. A few stairs even. Okay, that shoreline's looking a lot better, I think. It would help if we had maybe some vines or something. But for now, it is looking good. We'll have to jag this one up a bit. Random spots here and there just destroyed or messed up. That. this, that there, that there. A few of these. Actually, we'll make this higher. Destroy that. Mess this up a bit. Let's make this part taller. Okay. Actually, I like that. That's looking better. The goal is just to make it look more natural instead of how it was looking before. Perfect. Perfect. Not perfect, but getting there. It's getting somewhere. Okay. Now that we have slightly natural looking spot, good idea to start adding that texture and a site, just like we did over there. And a site works to make it, I don't know, I want it to look a little bit lighter on top. I think this works pretty well. It's looking a little better. I do like this side. I think we will need some greenery later, so I'm just trying to do it to that side. Over here. And okay, this would have some. Add a little bit to the bottom here. On these edges. Perfect. Like that. Okay. I do want to add some cobble, and I want to add them in places that might be a little bit darker. The bottom. The edges on the bottom, more specifically, like over here. It's already pretty dark, so it's pretty clear. Some cobble should be there. It's just places where it would naturally be a little darker. And I'm trying to aim for the bottom. Like it kind of gets the water washes in and destroys some stuff. Then water. I can't think of the word. Erosion. Something like that. Something like that, indeed. Okay. It's looking freaking stupid. Okay, these about. I'm working on these maps. So dawn of time feels like. Let's see. It might be strange, but I feel like the water would be seen better if there was actually some like diorite in there. Oh, there's some diorite in here. Not a ton, but enough to make the waterfall look a little brighter. Oh, no. Oh, and this needs to disappear. Why is this here? That's making the waterfall look dumb. That should disappear, I'm hoping. I don't know. The white looks strange. We need a buffer. Innocent would be a nice buffer. There's a side in. And then the diorite. Stop doing that. I don't know. From a distance, it's not bad. But it's not amazing. I wouldn't say it's amazing, but I think it's working. And then we should probably start adding a little andesite to the mountains as well. Just a little bit here and there. Just like that. Okay, I actually do want to work on a build today. So instead of doing this, we're actually going to work on, I kind of want to work on the mushroom house. I would like some reference pictures. That would be pretty nice. But I'm thinking, I don't know. I kind of want it down here, but it might look cooler if it was up here. We made like a mushroom area. I just feel like this might not be big enough for kind of mushroom house I want. But I feel like working on a bigger build today. Well, this is probably the biggest build, but I mean, an actual build. So, real question is, will my computer crash if I try to stream and record at the same time? If not, that will be interesting. I don't know. I kind of don't want to do this build without Capybara being on stream, because they're usually here, but they're not today. So let's work on someone else's build. I'll just kind of want them to be here because they've been asking Mushroom House for a while and they've been on stream a lot. So I figured they want to be here when I build their mushroom house. So let's work on something different, someone else's build. I have quite a few asks. Someone actually asked me to build a cave. Maybe I'm thinking of building a cave up here, but I kind of want it to be big. Let's build a cave over here. Be pretty fire. So let's cut this out. Make like a little bit of a cave entrance. Something like that. And then we can build the inside. Let's actually / effect. Give myself night vision infinite. So we can see inside the cave while we're building for the moment. Hope it's not too bright for y'all. I do want the cave to go in. That would be awesome. Caves are pretty easy to build. The problem with caves is making them look natural. I want this one to spread out from the inside, so it's actually bigger on the inside. Do something like that. Problem with almost any form of terraforming is making it look natural, because you have to make it look random but also generated, because just like everything in real life, caves are made from something, usually like erosion or just how the mountain was formed, because everything is made somehow for a reason. Something else caused it. So you have to make it both look natural and yet still created. Like, you can't just make, if I was to make a mountain and it looked like that, it'd be retarded, right? But if I was to make a mountain and it looked like that, it's like, doesn't make sense. Why is there a giant floating piece? It's not a mountain. You just, it's random, but it's not a mountain. I want it to be bigger. This is someone's build we're working on. Let's not end it there. You know what? Let's keep going out. We can add stuff into the cave, like a little survival spot. That'll work. Be cool. No, it's still not ended. I keep trying to end it. But I want to be big. Make that spot a little taller. Like that. Let's make the top a little taller. Okay. That's looking cave-like. See. Yeah, it's working. We're working it. I don't know if all the bottoms should be the same, so maybe it should have a raise up right here before it hits the back of it. It'll slowly curve back in on itself. It'll be perfect. It'll work. Like that. See, now that's a cave. Now, I think because it's someone's build, obviously we're not done. I want the cave to look lived in a little bit. Go ahead, let's add some texture to it at least. Probably mostly cobble, because it is the darker part of a cave, so I don't think we'll add any andesite, because obviously it gets dark in here. Okay. This part would be dark too. Would probably have a little darkness to it. Okay, perfect. And now let's go ahead and add fire. Let's try to make it look like a place someone. So we'll add a fireplace up here. That'll work for now. I guess we can make it like a survival base, which all survival bases need a crafting table, obviously, a furnace. Put that there. And then let's make it look like someone's building something in here. So put like a little beam across there. Actually, get rid of these. Like that. And then we'll actually put the crafting table in the front here. And we'll make like a little platform. Oh no, I just want it to look like someone has made a base in here. So we'll add something that looks, I want it to look kind of like a chair. That looks retarded. I always have a hard time with this. We should add an enchantment setup. That would be sick. So enchantment tables, let's say here. And let's bring this, let's actually bring this up with like some stairs. Like that. And then we can get the books out. Bookshelve it up. I don't know if this is 30 bookshelves or not. I'm gonna be honest. I usually always make the crafting table the same way, but I want to look like it's part of the cave. Okay, I can see the enchanting setup. It has this stuff. What else? What else would be in a newer style base? Grindstone. There's all this sorts of stuff. Like, yeah, let's make it like that. That's pretty good. Let's make some like shelves over here using some. Oh, that's pretty good. But let's try to make it look like it's connected to something. And then stair. Oh no, that looks weird. But that looks better. I feel like the fireplace is the weird part here. I still want a campfire. I think it looks sick, but it's not working where it's at. I think it might have to add something here. Let's put it like in. Let's make another like side entrance to the cave. Split off. Okay. Bam. I don't want it to be a perfect square. That's retarded. Yeah, actually, we'll do this. And then. Now. Now. I'm going to make this one. That's not bad. Go campfire there. And then we will put like, that's like a seat. You can take a seat by the campfire. And we probably throw some on the campfire. I don't know if it cooks in creative. Meat. No. I look at meat. Chicken. Yeah. Yeah, cook that chicken. I think it just throws off the campfire when it's done. So that might be pointless, but there we have a little paved base. It looks pretty nice, I think. Oh, we can destroy the sign because we added the cave here. It looks pretty nice. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop recording. And then once we're done streaming, I'll make a time lapse of it. Little time lapse. Let's actually put, I don't know, put some. I feel like it needs some on the outside to like mark it. Oh, and I feel like this, like the sand has a weird cutoff. So either do that, which looks dumb. So I'm actually going to do the opposite. I'm going to make the sand like crawl in a little bit. Yeah, that looks better. I like that. Yeah. Now we do have a little cave over here. I think it looks pretty nice. I want to make it a cave. Oh, they do jump off. I forgot about that. Is there a way to make them not do that? Or can I put like a... Ooh, that looks kind of cool. What if I could make it? And then I'll actually want a spruce fence gate. Well, actually, it might be cooler if I use dark oak. So it looks like that part's kind of charring a bit. Dark oak. And then... Oh, I actually want the fence gate. That part's kind of cooking down a bit. And then I wish I could put some meat on it. I don't know how to make those things invisible. Do you? They're called item frames. Put that there, and then how do you make it? I think there's a command, or maybe that's like a slash item modify lock. I don't know. I don't know. But that's good. That's good for now. If you're far enough away, it'll become invisible. Okay. Now more mountain work until see more people. But I think the cave looks nice. I think we did a good job in here. A little cave base is pretty cool. Now, more mountain work until we get some more people on. I kind of want to wait for Capybara before I make his mushroom house. So we'll just do some more detailing on the mountains. I just felt like making a build and it was fun. Let's add some andesite in. Looking a-okay. Just like that. Looking good. Got it. Then I think we're gonna have some snow up here, but let's not make it andesite for now. But I think up here is where I'm gonna put the dream SMP house. But a lot of people ask for it. I don't know how big the house is, so I don't know how well it will work. I haven't looked at it in a bit. So we might just put it next to our dream statue, but I feel like it'd be cool to have it on top of the mountains. It would be cool. Gucci in the Louis store, as they say. This. Perfect. This a little bit. Got it. Just trying to detail. That looks weird. It looks like eyes right there. I'll keep it though. It's kind of funny. Okay. I don't think I'm gonna want any cobble on that part like these, because I think the cobble is representing like erosion. There's gonna be no water up there. So I think we'll keep all the cobblestone down here. These areas. Just makes more sense. Do that. Okay, good. I know I kind of want cobble in the darker areas. Trying texture with purpose. It's easy to just throw random blocks around, but now I'm trying to. I'm seeing if I can texture and make it look like not a gradient per se, but like shading, I guess. Hard thing to do, but I think we can get it done. Just try to fill in the darker spots with cobblestone. Things that would be just a little bit darker. Here, here for sure. Here would be pretty dark. Down here, here. And then the andesite's going to be the lighter spots. Then up there, it's all going to be light. This spot will be pretty dark, so we're going to spread this out quite a bit. This is in a different area. That would be dark. I'm not great at this yet, but we're getting there. Let's take a look. It is looking like pretty nice mountains, I think. Let's see them from here. They do. They're looking nice. In my opinion. Okay. Let's continue with the shading. We still haven't really done andesite over here. Just spread andesite downwards. Just for here, there's so many lips that I'm afraid I'll end up replacing it all with andesite, and that is not the goal. We want to make it look like texture, not a blob of andesite. Doing good. I see that's looking more like just andesite. Gotta be careful with that. Not bad, not bad. Still got a lot more to add. A lot. But not bad. That's the important part. It's not bad. Okay. Doing good. Okay. You have to re-add those. How is it looking? I see. Loving it. Loving it. This is such a fun project. I was building such small builds for so long, but this is a really a fun project to be working on. Fun project. I can't wait till this city's absolutely enormous and everything's connecting. I think the idea is to have four parts, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then fill in these. I don't that circle definitely won't fill in the amount of subscribers I have, but it'll be pretty cool, pretty fun. We'll have to make it even bigger. This will be probably the biggest project anybody's ever done. Not really, but it'll get there. It'll get there. This will be a long and powerful thing. Looking good. The fun thing about this is you don't really have to detail everything. You really don't. Just some things. I'm gonna I'm gonna I'm gonna self-promote myself in my videos now. That's the plan. Add the fact I'm streaming in. Because I'm invincible. This stuff is too much. I'll only have to should only add a little bit to maybe every few layers so that I'm not absolutely destroying everything with it. Andesite. Kind of gotta pick and choose where I'm putting it in order to make it look like texture instead of andesite blob. Perfect. Let's add some to here. Okay, what's next? Okay, next. Like that. Looking pretty good. We'll see if it nicks on. Not. Okay. I'm gonna add a little bit more of this to the sides. Spread a little bit better. I feel like the bottom here doesn't have, so, you know, waterfall's supposed to have that like splashing animation. And I don't know, that's not really, it's not giving it to me. It's not giving me that. What could I use to do that? I feel like soul sand, it just wouldn't work. I could use some like glass, some like probably white stained glass. I don't want to ruin the waterfall, so do that. How's that look? That's horrible. It just looks like there's a wall of freaking stained glass. Maybe some blue to make the water like look like it's mixed in with it. Or maybe the other blue. This one's too bright. Dark blue maybe? A little bit more like the actual color of the water. Look at that. No, it still just looks like a wall of glass. Not like it. Not like it at all. Soul sand. No, soul sand. Oh no, I just want to make it look like this. Oh, yeah. Can't even really see it. Oh, that looks a little better. It's not big enough though. Like it's such a small amount of detail. Well, if we threw some snowballs in it, this might be the dumbest looking thing ever. But... Oh yeah, snowballs do that thing. Because this doesn't lift, it just throws them up. It's helping. It's just not. I want the waterfall to look like it's hitting the bottom. That doesn't work at all. White stained glass helped a little bit, but it's not adding movement. It's more like a stable piece of glass. I want something that actually adds movement. We could try to make some help. Help can make some of this back, except it'll start filling in. Like if I go, yeah, it'll push the waterfall up, which is something we don't want. That's for sure. Gotta think here. I don't want to use commands or anything. Maybe it's just good enough as is. Maybe smoke would look weird, wouldn't it? Let's say like a campfires. But they have to somehow go under the lake. I don't think that's gonna work out. No, the lake goes basically to bedrock. It wouldn't work. What if we did just wait for a bunch of glass in? Make it look like kind of like foam that gets created. You do this when the water hits. Glass. I feel like blue would be the best, but I'm thinking cyan now. Oh no, listen. The blue's too bright, the cyan's not blue enough. How does that look? Oh, the worst part is honestly this one. It's blue. Honestly, that's not as bad as I thought it would be. It's still not perfect though. I feel like we could try to do. No, it makes the waterfall jet out. I don't like it. Well, there was a way. If there is. Instead of the water. Instead of the cyan, what if I could surround the white with water? Like this. It's gonna be really hard to fix if I don't like it. That's true. I don't know, I kinda liked it. Try and put the sun back in. Let me go a little bit higher maybe. It's actually make it look like this is like bubbling upwards. Yeah. Oh, that's worse than it's ever been. Especially this part. It's this part that's getting me. don't know. It still doesn't feel like it's moving. It doesn't feel like it's hitting the bottom. It still just feels like a wall. Ooh, honestly, that's the best so far. We use some glass paints. We extend that cyan a bit and add a little bit of the white. Yeah. Yeah, what I mean, put it there. A little bit of white here and there. That's not terrible. One thing I am hating about this though is that it's going every other, which is making it look too uniform. Yeah. How is that looking? Is that looking like a waterfall crashing? I don't know if it is. Wish I could find a glass that matched that kind of blue water we have, but I think because of my shader pack, the water looks clearer than usual. Let's see. Yeah, it does. My shaders make the water look so clear that the blue glass would work. Like this blue, it looks basically like the water when I have my shaders on. Okay. The water has this more clear look to it, and it makes the blue not work as well. So I don't, because now the blue is brighter than the water. So I like my shader pack, so I don't want to change that. So just keep it how it is, but if I use this, it'll look nice without shaders. Actually, this looks worse, but the blue would work very well. But I like my shaders, and we're keeping them. We're gonna keep it like this. This looks so nice with the shaders. I have good night vision on, so that might affect. I got the slash. Effect, give, so, oh wait, no, effect, clear. So, if anything, it just made it look worse. I forgot I had that on. I'm now so used to it being on. Okay. Okay. Feel pretty done with these mountains today. Spent quite a while on. Gotta do a little bit more. A little bit more. I didn't make that cave. That was fun. This is a peak. Well, actually, a lot of andesite. Bam. Okay. Oh, you guys probably never seen me actually make a YouTube short. So actually, let's go and let's bring a time lapse out of that cave. That might be a pretty fun thing to do on stream. Done. Replay viewer. That one was a mistake, so it's this one. Only 11 minutes. It only took me 11 minutes. Okay. Now, this is going to be for YouTube short. So we got to remember the sides aren't going to work. We can't use the sides. Like half the screen isn't going to be there because we're making a YouTube short. So I'm going to do an IO here. And IO, what it does, it creates a timestamp and a keyframe. The time keyframe is basically, this is the start, 00, the video will start. And then the position keyframe is, this is where we will be looking at that time. It's pretty simple. And then say, let's skip to the end. Now, for me personally, it's actually, let's go a little bit more back. For me personally, for a cave like this, we want to be able to see the inside. So I'm going to go to, like, I think here to make the sides look nice. Those blocks, they're going to look weird for a bit. It's usually like when you're going so fast or so. We want to be able to see on the inside. So I'm going to go ahead. I usually like to make my videos about 12 seconds. So no matter, but I do want to add the fact I'm streaming in, so we're going to make it 15 seconds. Okay, now we can go back and we're going to rewatch it. And this is pretty easy right here. Shows me making the cave. It'll be hard to see the inside of a cave. That's one thing about this. But I think the way we did it, we'll be able to see my editing and stuff. I kind of want to see more on the inside. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to move this position keyframe down and move this time keyframe down. It's basically just slowed everything. And then I'm going to make another keyframe and I'm going to go inside the cave, right? And that'll be about a second long. And then I'm going to turn inside. Good. And that's, we'll finish off. And that'll be about a second. I'm going to turn back to there. Make that about a second as well. So I'll finish it right here. And then we're going to watch it again. So here's the time lapse. Bam. And now we have this part where we actually get to look around inside the cave. That's a little bit better. And that'll be basically the end of the video. This one's a really short one, but it is just a cave. So it's pretty simple. And then what I do, I go to render camera path. And last time I made any videos, Last one I made was the mansion, so it should be at the right rendering. Because you can set, and then bam. This is obviously, I'm going to make this into a YouTube short. So you got to render by 180 by 1920, set 1920 by 180. Because if you do it the other one, you try to clip it in your video editor, the graphics look worse because obviously you're shortening the length. You know, instead of 1920 by 180, you're getting not something. So divide that by thirds by 180 instead of the actual good looking thing. So I always try to do it inside of Premiere Pro. But now that that's uploaded, I don't know. I would have to end this because I can't show you guys my video editing software. I think everything in the whole world would crash if I tried to show you guys that. But I think it's cool. I showed you guys how to make a time lapse. Let's exit replay. It's different on some of these bigger ones. Let's find a long one. What did I build in this one? I honestly don't know. Let's see. Oh, this is when I was working on the city. This isn't a build. Let's cancel that. Exit. Let's scroll down to an hour one. What was I working on here? Oh, this is when I made the farm. These are easy. I just look at it once, again, the position keyframe, time keyframe. And then I'm in the same spot. I just press buttons again. It's really simple. Press, actually, let's not render. Let's just watch it. Watch. See, I'm stuck in the same spot because it's a really big build and there's not much of an interior, so it's just me outside. These are really the time lapses themselves were really easy to make. Obviously, the build took over an hour, but it's super simple. What I do is super simple. Just if you guys ever want to do it, get the replay mod. It helps make time lapses so easy, so easy. But we made a time lapse out of that. So I'm going to end the stream for now. Thanks for joining me. And I am going to make a time lapse. And then promote my stream because money. So